Welcome to the Indie Author Roadmap, the podcast for new and aspiring indie authors.
We're your hosts, Rachel and Rob, here to help guide you on your writing journey.
Join us each episode as we share tips, insights and practical advice to help you take the next steps towards becoming a successful indie author.
Whether you're working on your first book, navigating self-publishing, or looking to connect with fellow indie authors, this is the place for you.
So grab your notebook, settle in, and let's hit the road to your publishing dreams.
Because right in the end is just the beginning. Hello and welcome to Indie Author Roadmap, episode 63. I am Rob Radcliffe, the reluctant writer, and we have with us...
the amazing, fantastic, brilliant, awesome Rachel.
Okay, so I've just been told to wait for the podcast. I just read Rachel on Substack is doing a year in the life, aren't you, of an indie author, and you write a post every week. And this week's, I've just read it this morning, was about AI. So let's jump straight in. How did you manage to? What did you do? Did you have it interview you or something? How did you create its knowledge base, if you like, I guess?
I complained to it. So, I mean, it knows me fairly well anyway, because I've used it for like forever. Well, not forever, but you know, it's been out. But yeah, I was like, I want all this stuff that I want to do, and I'm busy and I need time and I need a schedule. So we've talked about that, and then we've got on to like doing the nitty-gritty things that I want to do, like pick my newsletter up, bring my series out of the gutter that's just, you know, been sat there to die and stuff like that. So we were talking about that. Now, I didn't realise it had never actually had any of that series. So this morning I literally, and I know people like the people anti-AI will be like, you should never do that with your book, but I uploaded all the books to my project and got it to look through it, and it did an analysis of all the story and was telling me that these are the angles we should do. So it came up with like a strategy for marketing it. So I've got like a printed off, it's like 24 pages, but it's like weeks, it's 8 months worth of a strategy to try and get this series selling.
And it's like a step-by-step thing you just have to follow.
Yeah, it's literally like weekly. So this week it was talking about, you know, kind of bringing it back, getting people excited about it, because obviously I've got readers that loved it and they're still there. So it's like re-engaging them. But it was saying like the first 2 months we really need to focus on getting the new readers into the series, and then after like months 3 and 4, that's then when we kind of focus on keeping them on the read through and bringing them into the, you know, into the reader groups and Patreon and all that stuff.
Yeah. So you said then, you just mentioned then that some people are like, oh no, you should never do that. What, never upload your books to
because
chat?
it's like you're giving the book, you know, the book for the AI to steal. But I'm like, I don't care. If you want to learn from my books, go and learn from my books, because I use the hell out of you. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's so do you feel like a bit weights off your shoulders marketing wise, because you have this dossier of
yeah, because I've got this plan, and I've also got a new release coming, which is for a totally new series, you know, the one I was not supposed to be writing.
Yeah.
So that series has no followers whatsoever.
Right.
And I was like, let's see if we can get 1,000 pre-orders. I know I'll never get 1,000 pre-orders, but we can see if we can, can't we? We can aim for it and give it a good shot. And so it's got a marketing plan for that as well, and it was really good actually, because it was like, do not go into this with your first day with buy my book, pre-order it, because you're going to scare everyone away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is what we tell people anyway. So it's build up a plan of talking about the book every week on certain platforms, every day on other platforms, to just get it in the space, and then
Interested without being forceful and that.
without being salesy. Yeah, like talking about the genre and stuff like that, just to get, and it's probably what we tell people to do anyway, isn't it? So yeah, so I've got a plan for that. I also got a plan for my newsletters, but basically I just wanted it to every area of my life. I was like, help me with this.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Because you've all this overwhelmed with, oh my, especially like not so much for a new author, because you know you've got 1 or 2 out. It's very simple, but you don't know the things,
Mm.
which is frustrating. But when you've got loads of different series and different books and all the rest of it, it can be overwhelming because you just, where do I go? Which ones do I concentrate on? I mean, because I felt this overwhelm, I took everything off,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, and that's exactly what it is. So I
Yeah.
think I need to do that because I've done the AI interview and the plan and all the rest of it with me author helper side, but now I need to do that with Rob Radcliffe. I'm
Yeah.
going to be jumping back in properly with me as an author when I get back from Ireland. But that will be the first thing that I do is
Yeah.
interview me. You're now my assistant. You're now my marketing executive. Blah blah blah. Come on, Cynthia. Let's make a go of this kind of thing. And
Yeah.
you shouldn't think that the AI is, it's a tool.
It is.
And
Yeah.
I mean, how long would it have taken you if you were going to kind of try and think up this step by step marketing strategy without Al?
I probably wouldn't have done it because you would start it and then it would get too hard and then you go and jump onto the next shiny thing.
And yeah, it's another job, isn't it? Then on
Yeah.
your list instead of
Yeah.
just boom.
But it was like an hour of me and my laptop sat in bed
Yeah,
tapping away and stuff, and I tailored it, so yeah, it worked. But I started off with what I want to do, like my goals for the year. I want to publish 6 books. I want to write 1,000,000 words. I want to monetize my YouTube channel. I want to be on my Substack, on my Medium, all the things I want to do.
yeah,
I was even down to the things like I want to do this many hours on my freelance work. I want to be going to the gym. I want to be gaming in the evening. I want to read this many books, because I want to make sure I've got my interests as well in my
yeah.
downtime and not just. So it was go through all that and
So it's time management. So I mean, I know that's another thing, especially again with a new author who will probably have a job and that, and then this writing deal and trying to put books out is like a little separate thing, but they find that they don't have any time. Time management, that's what it can really help with as well, isn't it?
yeah, and because like the indie world's so big now, there's a lot of noise out there and there's a lot of conflicting noise as well.
Yeah,
So especially I think if you're a new author, it's harder that way to decide which way is right.
yeah,
So yeah, but I'm excited for it because it was like a lot of fun. But it definitely is. You have to have the experience to know how to get it to do the stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like I needed to be an experienced author to know what works for marketing and how you get your books out there.
yeah. Do you think that you could put together some prompts aimed at? I mean, it'd be just a list of prompts wouldn't really work, would it? Because obviously your AI knows you and
Yeah.
straight away. But maybe some newbie prompts. Someone said it's all right talking about this, but how?
How
And
to
that's
do it, yeah. I mean, I could try and put because someone had asked me on my post last week because I did my Substack last week as well, which
yeah,
was handing my writing career over to AI, basically. Someone asked for the process, so I was going to write a post about how I did it.
yeah,
Yeah, so I can put something together, but
yeah.
yeah,
And
so
be
I can.
clear, handing my writing career over to AI is the time management and the planning. It is not the
Yeah,
actual writing.
no, the right. I do, I do all the writing, but it was like doing everything else. But it was really great because he came back to me, and it was like, on the whole picture thing, it was like, okay, so you want to do newsletters, and it was saying, I said, how often do you want to send your newsletter out? And then
Never.
yeah. So it recommended do it fortnightly, and then it said we need to do content pillars, so that you're talking about like specific things at specific times. So it's given me stuff, and I really like what it came out with. But because
Yeah,
it's got my manuscripts, it knows what kind of things to talk about.
yeah.
Um, and so it was like that, and it was like, okay, he's like, so you're going to do this, you're going to write the newsletter, what you want in it, and write it rough. He says, but then you're going to give it to me, and I'm going to tidy it up and make it into a newsletter.
So
It's
you've
like,
got your voice, but then it's going to sort it out
but it's
and
going to do the second draft of it for me. Yeah.
yeah,
So I know some people will see that as AI writing, but it's not.
But
Um,
it doesn't matter because it's newsletters are marketing.
yeah,
That's still what they are. Yeah.
yeah, and it's given me like on the new release. Is it the new release? No, it could be on my on my series. It's given me 50 days worth of TikToks to put out.
Got
All
hooks.
I've got to do is sit down and make them.
Nice.
And it's
But
like,
does it
go
have
and get
like visuals as well, or just the hooks, or what did it give
just
you?
the hooks. It's like, so, because it's like, go and get your pictures, put this on a slideshow, and
Yeah.
it's but it's done things like, do something, a picture of something in your office and put the text over it. Because it knows I want faceless for this one. And it's,
Yeah.
so it's giving me loads of different ideas that aren't just, slideshows.
But
Um,
even there, you could, I mean, that you could dig down a little bit deeper, and so that it gives you prompts for Midjourney or something like that.
yeah,
So it to create the image or the sort of image that you're looking for, and then you just copy and paste that into like Midjourney. So just in case you're thinking, well, I don't have an image. Oh God, I forget it. That
yeah.
you could talk to it and have it create that within your guidelines, couldn't you?
I do that sometimes, do get it to give
Yeah,
me the prompt, but what I like about it is it's definitely gone down the route of the readers want to know the writer, not just be sold the books, and I
yeah.
think that's the current message in the indie world as well.
Absolutely, especially with like, your direct selling and
Yeah,
your direct selling, it is very much about the author and not just the what you're peddling,
yeah,
because they want to get behind you, which is
yeah,
great, and your
yeah,
brand and everything,
yeah,
and not just the silly things that you imagine and jot down.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's good, and I'm excited to go and try it. So
that's good. Yeah, yeah. I've been thinking about it myself. I need to, but obviously I'm still in translation mode. But once I get to once I've done them, then it will be that'll be my first protocol, I think, as well.
yeah, but this
Uh,
is usually Claude. I know you're not a Claude fan, but you've only tried
I've
it
got
once.
it now though,
Yeah,
so
I've got
yeah,
it. Yeah, maybe when
yeah,
we're in Ireland, I'll have to show you my Claude and what it did.
yeah,
And
definitely,
you can see what's possible because obviously Claude's a new system that you've got to learn. It's different if you've been on chat.
yeah,
It has different ways of doing things.
yeah. It's a lot cleaner as well, I found.
Yeah, and it gives you an actual document that you can download.
Yeah, cool, man.
Yeah.
Right, so that's part one. How many words you written this week?
Oh, not that many. Something like 13,933. I was like really so close to 14,000.
Right, why?
Yeah.
What were you?
No, I had just 2 days where it was like super busy because I was saying all last year that
Yeah,
I was waiting for everyone to move out my house and get the peace and quiet. I
you
made
hold
it
me back in, have they?
I made it three months, and then the son popped round one evening, and he's like, "Are you in?" And I wasn't. I was at the gym, and then he was like, "When are you back?" I'm like, "I'm going to be an hour," and he's like, "I'll come back in an hour." And I just said to Tony, "I'm like, he split up with his girlfriend." I just knew. And when I came back, he's like, "Do you mind if I crash for a bit?" So I've got someone in the house again. Not that he's got
Oh,
any kids, so he's not as um, bothersome,
it's
but.
not like the whole family coming around then.
No, it's just one in the spare room, but
Yeah, I
it's
understand.
still the same thing with the sun coming back, so suddenly I've got extra washing and, stuff like
Yeah,
that. So, yeah, there was a couple
feel
of days
Tony.
thrown off.
Yeah. So we had a couple of.
Oh, no, what about you? What about you with writing?
I did 1,000 words this morning. I did a live for the first time in like I think it's been 11 days. I haven't done any
Wow.
lives, and Shan said to me the other day, "Why are you not out there in the evening?"
Bloody
Because
cold.
I'm eh?
Bloody cold.
Well, I've got heater and stuff. It's not that.
Yeah.
I've just been like that. I want to get. I've just been all translations. Get all these translations out of the way. But then when I speak to the authors that I'm doing these translations for, they're very like, "Cool, yeah, whenever." It's me putting it on my back that I want to get them all done really quick. Kind of giving myself these deadlines. But the authors are cool, so it's just a self-imposed thing. So
Yeah.
I thought to myself, "No, I need to get back out there." I went out there last night, did about 2 hours. And loads of people jumping on saying, "Have I been missing your lives or something?" And I'm like, "Oh, they've missed me. That's nice." No, I just haven't been doing them. So I didn't make any sales, but I wasn't. It was just getting back into it. So it was great just having a chat with people for a couple of hours. And yeah, so I'm gonna stop giving myself such a hard time about all this work I've taken on, and in the evenings go back out and sell some fucking Rob Radcliffe books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Writing wise, did 1,000 words this morning. I think that is also with me doing lives again. I'm like, yes, because I was talking about the series and the book that I'm writing at the moment. It kind of sparked it for me, and I wanted
Yeah.
to get a bit more down, which is good. Because I don't just want to be a. Oh, he used to write books. Him, yeah.
No, it sounds like
It just helps. It just helps authors now.
yeah.
No, that's the side bit.
Yeah.
The author bit is.
You see that though with like YouTubers who bring courses out that are writers. Like they used to write loads, and then because they've got popular on YouTube, then they start doing courses, and then you see that they're never putting any books out because all they're doing is courses, because it's not easy money, but it's easier money than a book.
Yeah. And then you get trapped, and then you start getting people asking questions. Oh, why is he saying this? The last book he put out was
Yeah, exactly.
5 years ago. What does he know, kind of thing? And
Yeah.
so I just need to balance it a little more after I've done all these translations. Like I said, it's back in Rob Radcliffe mode. I've paused for some reason.
You have paused. Oh, there
Oh,
you
there we go. I'm back again now. I was in a weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing a bit of writing, and yeah, it's I need to get myself back into that's what you do, Rob.
That's why you do it.
Yeah, the reason you know these other things and you offer these things for people is because of don't lose sight on, what's important to you. Yes, so yeah, that's me. About 1,000 words this morning, so I'm very, very happy about that.
Nice.
And yeah, so last week I put out ask some questions on the group, and in between
Brilliant.
solving kitchen problems for James Felix and that, we actually had a few more, and there's one that James Ward put
Chris
on
Ward.
yesterday about TikTok Live and TikTok Shop, because we do speak quite a lot about lives in the shop. Oh, before I go any further, have you got your 50 yet?
No, I'm still at the 40. In fact, I'm at 43. I lost one.
So anyone listening, just go on Dark Wolf Books on your TikTok
Oh.
account and just bloody follow, please.
Yeah.
Because this is ridiculous now.
It's so annoying.
It's been nearly a month,
Oh no.
and you can't even manage a couple of followers.
Yeah. I don't mind. As my goal is to be doing TikTok lives by the summer. That's
Right.
yeah. So I don't mind if it's a slow thing, because I feel like I'm making progress in all the other areas of my career. So
Yeah.
if that comes on, it's a bonus.
Okay. Right. So James Ward said a
It's
TikTok
Chris
live.
Ward.
Eh?
It's Chris Ward, isn't it? It's
Chris
not
Ward,
Chris.
sorry. Chris Ward says a TikTok Live /shop 101. Like how you get one, what the rules are, what you do, what you talk about, things like why can't you sell overseas, why you can't just buy books as they're ordered, how they're ordered, etc. Also things like, do you use the same account, make a new one, etc. You've done a couple of shows on them, but you seem to jump into the middle like we already know what that stuff. I can understand how frustrating that must be,
Yeah.
because that's what we do, because we've
Yeah.
set up our shops and all the rest of it, so we know how to do it. So let's start from the top.
It's funny though, because he's in Japan, so he can't do any of this.
Yeah, but it's his question, and
It's
it's
a good
for other.
question.
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to him and said, concentrate on Japan, on the market you're in. I don't know if they've got a TikTok there. They must have.
Yeah, but they've not got TikTok Shop, I don't think.
Yeah, they don't know, but you could still do an author site and stuff like that. So they probably won't have lives then if they don't have TikTok Shop, because there's no
No.
point.
No, I think TikTok Shop, is it only the UK and the US?
At the
Is it?
moment, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they've even got it in Australia.
It's about Australia coming,
Mm.
but let's just go down and answer it anyway. So, how'd you get one? A TikTok Shop
You
or
ready to
TikTok
jump?
Live?
Well, the live seems to have different rules, because like for my account, I have to have the 50, but you were able to do it straight away.
So, well, to have a TikTok shop, you need to go onto a business account to start off with.
Yeah.
You can't be on a personal account. And then the live, I'm not sure
I'm not
what it
crying
is.
at you. For some reason, my eyes are mega watering today.
Yeah. And then again, the lives, is it 50 that you?
Mine says 50. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's because it's a brand new account, so they don't just want you create an account and coming on live, which I can understand.
Yeah. I mean, well, because everyone's sort of got like a personal account or maybe an author TikTok account, you need 1,000 followers first. It's kind of like the
Be a link,
baseline.
yeah.
Yeah. Because although you might have the way it's set out is you've got your TikTok shop that's separate from your author TikTok. So then you link it to the actual shop, but then the shop also has a TikTok account kind of connected to it.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't
You have
it?
to download it's a TikTok seller app. That you
Yeah.
have to download, so you need both. And then but you link them in there. You get
Yeah.
them both set up, and you have to go through all the legal stuff in the seller account and like put
Yeah.
your ID in and stuff like that. So you can't just do it anonymously. You do have to put all your tax stuff in it, and then you link them up.
Yeah.
But
So
you can do it under a pen name. So I know you can't do it anonymously, but like my TikTok shop is under my other pen name, and obviously my seller account is under me.
yeah.
But it doesn't display any of your real identity.
No. So what's the difference between a TikTok shop and a seller account?
The shop is what's displayed on TikTok. The seller
Right.
account is basically your
Behind the scenes platform.
your CRM, isn't it, for your products, and all your stuff.
What does CRM mean? I'm trying to make it because
It's your content
if you're
management.
new coming into this,
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah,
what's that now?
It's the background where you control everything, so where you list your products and you get paid.
Yeah. It's the platform, the behind the scenes of the shop.
You also have to have the shop has to have the same name as your TikTok account.
I think we mentioned that, like mine was wrong, but it was holding on like a thread for some reason.
But it knackers something up, but eventually, and it did it to mine because obviously I had my pen name and then I changed my pen name a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I changed the TikTok shop to have that variation, but that kind of disconnected it and made it go into a showcase on my profile.
Yeah.
So I had to change it back so that it said shop. So yeah.
What's a showcase? So because you keep saying all these new words.
Showcase is basically
literally that people are like, what's this one now? For fuck's sake.
Showcase is literally like you'll have your profile and you have all your videos and your picture underneath, and then it'll say showcase or shop. And if someone clicks the showcase, it's basically shows things in other shops. So it could be your own shop, or it could be even shops that other authors have got. Like you could go and get one of AP Beswick's book and put it in your showcase, and then you get a commission from it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's better to have the shop for showing for your own.
Yeah, I mean that's what I did because mine was I've got a Radcliffe Press TikTok account, and then so I put that I linked that to my Radcliffe Press. That's the name of my shop. I linked that, and then I had my my fantasy account, which is my TikTok account, and my Romcom one, which is my TikTok account, and then because they wouldn't link at that time, the link button was grayed out. I just showcased my own books, but now I've linked them all up now because of some threshold.
The showcase is good if you've got different genres, but you like got variations of your name or something like that, or your readers know that you are, you've got all these pen names, because you do have authors often that might have 5 pen names, and so they've got a TikTok for each pen name, but it's a very different genre. But they can put everything in one shop, and then they can have that pen name's TikTok showcase the books for that.
Yeah, the certain books that you want to showcase in it. So the shop is basically a shop, but then you're just grabbing that shelf of things to showcase on that. Because
you can only have one shop account. That's because of your ID, but you can have lots of TikTok accounts. So I don't know if you've got an author named A. Smith, and then one is Rob Radcliffe, and then I don't know, someone else. All their books would be in this one shop.
Yeah. Right, that's that. And also what you can do if when you go live to on your author account, you can then go and grab the books that you want to be able to pin on your live. We'll get to lives in a minute. Right, what's the next one? Right. How do you get one? So that's how you get one. You have to go on the seller's account. Yeah. What do you talk about? I assume he means on lives, but I mean also, you can do shoppable videos. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can just do the TikToks that you're doing anyway with a shoppable link, and then you're talking about book one in your series, or the whole series, and you've got that shop, and you create a shoppable link just before you press and publish. After you've created the video, you can only do it on videos. You can't do it on slides, and then. Yeah, it'll have a link. So when it goes out, you're talking about this book, and there's a little link there, so people
Yeah.
can making it a seamless advert.
The
Really,
only downside is you can only have specific sounds if you've got a shop link, because some of the sounds don't work.
well, that's just like a business account, isn't it?
Yeah,
You
it's
can
the same
only
as
have
commercial, but
commercial sound.
I know my actual TikTok. I think I've still got the actual TikTok itself set to personal because I can still use the personal sounds on normal TikToks, but if I'm linking
Right.
my product, then it always reminds me to change it to a commercial sound.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What else have got? What do you talk about? You talk about your books. You talk about what you would talk about on, on the videos that you put on TikTok. If you're live, then you have to do it a lot more to yourself because you've been looking at yourself on the screen. Sometimes you'll have people come in. Always make sure that you say hello. Try and create that engagement, because once you've got a hello off someone, then you can start just chatting,
Yeah.
and it makes it a hell of a lot easier then.
I've not done lives yet. Do you repeat yourself? So, like, you're there
Yeah.
for 2 hours, yeah.
Well, I mean, on when you're on a live, TikTok actually says every 8 minutes or so, maybe reintroduce everything. It gives
Yeah.
you prompts, because
Yeah.
new people coming in, and also the people that hang around, they don't mind that. They understand the game. They understand what you're doing. They also understand that new people coming in, and then you do your little scripts maybe, and then you get back to chatting to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Okay. Why can't you sell overseas on your TikTok shop? The reason for this is it's just distribution, just logistics. If you're selling nationally, you don't have to worry about any overseas. It's easier for TikTok. They go through Royal Mail in this country. It'll be, I don't know who it is in the US. It'll probably be, I don't
UPS.
know,
I don't know.
UPS or
Whatever it is.
something like that. But if you were worldwide, it'd mean that, I mean, TikTok isn't worldwide in the shops yet, so you'd have to. That's the reason. It's a lot easier nationally, and also postage rates can be more in sync, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it would be too complicated because postage rates vary, don't they, from day to
not
day?
just that, but also like there might be tariff charges and stuff
Yeah.
like that in a different country, and it'd be a lot for TikTok to handle, really.
Yeah. And you probably get it wrong. Plus, shipping time is long. You're not delivering that customer service.
Yeah.
Because if you're shipping a book to Australia, it's going to take 3-4 weeks to get to them.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Also, TikTok have a rule where once you get an order in on your shop, I think it's 72 hours.
72 hours,
It
yeah.
needs to be posted within 72 hours. I remember when we went to the London thing, I had a few orders. I got back that day, and I had like 2 hours to get them. I didn't realise that these orders are going through because I was pissed most of the time, obviously. But that I got back and shit, I need to get all these orders out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shipping times, it's basically it's a customer service thing. They want to be able to they want to go head to head with Amazon, and that's
Yeah,
basically
pretty much, yeah.
and So they'd like 48 hours really and it's nice to be able to tell your people that you'll get your book in 48 hours. So if you post it, and that's what they use on Royal Mail 48 hours. So it is just as quick as Amazon.
Yeah.
It's your own thing, which is really good. I don't know about America because I'm not in America. What else have we got? Why can't you just buy books as they're ordered? That again, once again, you need those books in stock. Well, you don't need the books in stock. The reason that we do have books in stock is so you can personalize them. That perceived value thing, you can charge a little bit more because they're signed, and you can make them all pretty and put extra bits in before you send them off, and charge a little bit more for that, as opposed to them just going to Amazon and just getting a paperback. But if you were to get an order in and then have to order off, say, BookVault or Amazon an author copy, it's going to take 5 days or
Yeah.
however many
Sometimes
days.
take longer. Also, you might get the books and they're damaged or printed wrong or whatever, and you've got to reorder them.
Yeah, so that's why, number one, you're not going to hit your 72-hour thing, so your shop rating's going to go down, and you're not going to get as many eyes on your shop when you do anything with it, because they want everything to be, it's customer focused. So,
Yeah.
and you're just a cog in their machine. So that's why you'd have stock in. Also things like, do you use the same account? I think we've gone through that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Do you make a new one? You can make a new one if you want, but I mean, you've just made a new one because you want it as a publisher and not
Yeah.
just the author.
Yeah. But you've got
But
to
then,
grow it and
you've got to grow it, and you've got to get your initial people on to be able to do anything. I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's everything from that one. I hope that answers stuff. Obviously, you're in Japan, Chris, so things are different. You don't have TikTok lives, I don't think.
No.
If you do have TikTok lives and you don't have a TikTok shop, get an author shop, and just treat that as, instead of, I mean, it's a few more clicks for the customer journey. It's not as seamless because it's not all in the same platform, but it still means that you'd be able to do the same thing.
Yeah, and if you have your 1,000 followers, you can have the link in like Linktree.
Yeah, you can have your link in your Linktree and stuff. The only problem with lives is, and it's annoying, you can't mention anywhere but TikTok, which is annoying, isn't it? You
Yeah.
can't even say, check out my link in my boy. Adam, when he's just done a backer kit. I think he's in the final hours of it, which is the same as Kickstarter. It's just a different platform. Before, for Wing Reaver, when it was coming up to it, he was going on TikTok lives and he was saying, link in my bio for this, and he was getting bummed for it. TikTok was, slapping him on the wrists and saying, no, you're not allowed to do that. But he did it anyway because, it's sending people to the place that they need to go.
Yeah.
But it's a bit scary when you get those notifications saying you've been naughty. Yeah. And moving steadily along, Rebecca Dale, who is our new baby author, and she shouted at me when I just called her by name. So baby author has asked, not sure if this has already been covered, but cost-effective marketing for new indie authors, for baby authors. Rachel, go.
She did message me as well. She was asking about if she should be running ads on her first book, and she's only got one book out, and so I was asking if she had the second book up on pre-order, and she doesn't yet. And I was like, it's not worth putting the money into the ads just yet because you've got nowhere for them to go. And then she was asking, well, you could send them to your mailing list, but it makes it more cost more. The reader costs more because
you don't have that read through already in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you collect, and also you might collect your emails on the email list, but once again, you can have an automation set up for them, so they're receiving these new emails, and all that's very well. But at the end of the day, the readers and they need somewhere to go, and if you don't have many places to send them, then you still you're still just you're still just building your readership, and she's
Yeah.
been doing great on TikTok and stuff.
Yeah.
She just needs to keep doing that and not worry about ads and stuff until she's got at
Yeah.
least a trilogy out, I'd say.
Yeah,
Uh,
you've definitely got to have the second book out before you even think about it, because the readers need to go to the next book.
yeah, at least, well, yeah, the second and then the third one will be on pre-order, wouldn't
Pre-order,
it?
yeah. The kind of the rule that we have is 3 books, isn't it? Because it makes
Yeah.
it cost effective.
Yeah, it is cost effective. I think 5 books is the sweet spot though.
Yeah,
But the more you have out, the more read through you've got, the
yeah,
more you've got to show people. It must be hard being a baby author these days, especially when you see people with all these books. But I mean, we had it, everyone has it, and it's, oh, they've got 5 books out. I wish I was there.
yeah.
Just write, just keep
Just keep
writing.
going. Yeah,
Yeah, at least there's more people being able to give you advice these days, so you can just keep building your readership, and then when you are at 5 books, you're in a better place than where any of us were when we were at 5 books. It's a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it?
yeah.
And then yeah, so that's that. Those are the 2 questions. Yeah, those are the 2 questions, and now we've got a guest then, haven't we? Talking about other things that you can do with Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Because we've touched on Kickstarter, but we haven't actually done an episode on Kickstarter, have we?
No, not really.
So we've got back on our first ever guest last year. He's coming back on to chat about Kickstarter. He's done quite a few, and he's very knowledgeable of it all. So, yeah, let's get Mike Hibbert back on.
Yeah.
You're not going to do the yay!
Yay!
Welcome again, Mike Hibbert. This is your second. You're the only person that's come back so far, and it's great to see you again.
Is that because I'm the second person to be invited back, or the only person that's accepted the invitation the second time round?
The first one. We haven't made anyone else back yet. So at the moment,
I'm very flattered.
you're the most popular guest we've had.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
So how's life treating you? How's the writing going?
Yeah, life's treating me pretty good actually. I've picked up writing again, which is good. I spent quite a lot of time sort of dithering around as to sort of how I'm going to market my first series of books and write the second one. All that context switching was driving me mad. But yeah, I've got quite a lot of words down this weekend. Actually, I did nearly 8,000 words this weekend. So,
well, if these things are driving you mad, definitely listen to this episode, because Rachel's just been talking about that, haven't you?
Yeah.
About marketing and the new series.
Brilliant. Yeah, I definitely will then. You're in my you are in my podcast catcher thingy. You are prioritized as number 1. So whatever I'm listening to, when you drop, I get to listen to you next.
Nice.
Right, so they get like moved
They get
back.
all bumped down again, yeah. So,
well, that's nice, isn't it, Rachel?
Yeah,
tippity
well, it
toppity.
should be.
Right. So before you came to us now, we were talking about the new author and what they can do and stuff, to market the books. And we've had a few people ask about Kickstarters and stuff, and we haven't really gone into any detail. And I know you've done a few, so if you could just give us a background on how you've done it, what you've done, and stuff, and that, yeah, that'd be great. And we'll jump in when you stop waffling, if you ever do.
In about me waffle never. Okay, so yeah, I've done. I was part of a small games collective called what were we called? Red Oaks Creative, and we did Dungeons and Dragons related or D&D adjacent supplements, books, role playing games, that kind of stuff. And we did, over the course of our being creative. We did 5 Kickstarters, one of which was unsuccessful, and I think we learned a load out of that one, and 4 of which were successful. So what I thought, I had a bit of a think about this while I was sat in your ready room, waiting to
green room.
waiting to come out. It's very nice actually. I like what you've done in there. The decor very nice, and the the coffee.
The kitten poo. The kitten poo.
The kitten poo. Yeah, it's a bit weird that it's still got a Christmas tree up in there. But okay. So we launched our first game, which was called Halcyon Days Motorcycle Nights. I'm still eternally proud of that name. But it was a little bit weird. It was a storytelling role playing game, and I don't think anything else has been like that since. It's very odd, but definitely worth looking at if you can get one for cheap. We launched that and it failed spectacularly. Okay, we didn't make our funding, so I had a bit of a think about what we'd done, and I think we made 2 big mistakes. Okay, we tried to overcomplicate it, and we didn't tell people what we were selling. So I say we didn't tell people what we were selling. We did, obviously. It's a book, and it is a role-playing storytelling game, but we didn't take them on the journey. And we made it massively complicated in that we had PDF versions, retail versions, we had print copies, we had hardback copies, we had pins, badges, we had a CD, an adjacent CD, because it was the whole idea was that it was a sort of a 1970s sort of rock themed role playing game. And one of the guys was a very accomplished musician, so he wrote an album which you can get bizarrely on Spotify and Apple Music. So the idea was that we'd get a CD, and then we had a tour T-shirt, and all these different sort of price breaks, and it was confusing, and it was a mess. And as a result, I think I can't remember how much the numbers were, but we didn't make our numbers. So we went away, sort of licked our wounds, and thought to ourselves, right, well, what is it we actually want to do? And actually, what we wanted to do was sell the book. Not particularly, it's never really about the money, is it? It's about the seeing your name on something, and it being out there in the world, and so
the excitement of finding a few people who
exactly,
who love
exactly.
it.
And if anybody was to ever say, I played Halcyon Days Motorcycle Nights, honestly, that would probably be the pinnacle of my whole existence. Because did I mention it's quite niche? So it was all about it was about selling the book. So what we did was we went back to basics and said, well, what's the minimal viable product that we want to sell? And it's some ebooks, some PDFs, because that's a good option. And we wanted to sell the paperback copies, so just a box standard copy. Okay, hardbacks are out of the question. It's a whole new print range. The fact that we'd done the CD, we'd made the album anyway, so it was like, well, let's just get the CDs and everybody can have a copy. Scrap the pins, scrap the badges, scrap the tour T-shirt. I do still have a tour T-shirt somewhere, which is quite cool.
Should have worn it.
Sorry, I should have worn it. Yeah, I know. I know. So I guess the first thing to say to new Kickstarter people is absolutely keep it simple. Just decide what it is you want to sell, and sell that. Make it as simple as possible, and think about your pricing as well. So I'm just going to quickly look at what did we set our. I think we set our funding on the first project quite high. So let's make some moolah on this kind of thing. I'm just going to have a quick look, see if I can see it. I think we'd set it at something like 1,500 quid or something. And in hindsight, we were never going to make that. So, what was the minimum price break at which it was worth doing? And we thought,
Yeah.
I don't know, 250 quid, something like that. So we set it at 250 quid the second time round. And it's, in essence, I suppose if we'd have sold, 75 PDFs and one print copy, that was going to give us a bit of a problem. But we were relatively comfortable that we were going to sell PDFs and print copies, because the role playing people like print copies. They like physical copies, and that's actually what happened. We sold a lot more print copies than we did PDFs. So be sure about what it is you're selling, and don't over egg it. It's better to for two reasons. Firstly, it's better to get a successful Kickstarter, but also if you can then start saying things like, we're 200% funded, 300% funded, that looks really good, because you put on your little picture, get your banner on the top of your page, and then put your sort of like your stripes across it going 100% funded, fully funded in 2 days, that kind of stuff. People like that, and you can follow that up. And also, Kickstarter has that concept of projects we like, and you're much more likely to get a projects we like badge, which is a license to print money. It's the equivalent.
So what is projects I like?
Okay, so projects we like is Kickstarter pushing your project. So it's like getting an Amazon book deal, effectively. When you get the Amazon deal thing, which I've never had, but in essence, it's where somebody within Kickstarter has looked at that and gone, oh, actually, that's really good. And you'll get a Projects We Like badge. And also there's a button on the Kickstarter page that says Projects We Love. You click on that and it takes you to their sort of curated list of the most interesting, the stuff that's stood out to the curators at Kickstarter. So in order to give yourself a better chance of doing that, it's better to have a lower threshold.
It's getting the projects in front of organic eyes, then, isn't it? Instead of bringing people that to the page.
Yeah, very much so. And I think that's something to remember. Kickstarter itself is very much, it's a platform, but it's also quite a big community. And I'll come to that more in a little bit as to stuff that you can do to help yourself. But it is very much it's a community of people. So getting that organic on platform growth is huge. Getting people to see your stuff is huge. So that was our first book.
Before we go any further, realised, and we were talking about this before, what is Kickstarter? We should, because what we've done, one of the things that Chris Ward said, we jumped into TikTok lives and stuff like that, but we didn't kind of
explain the
basics. Yeah. So what is Kickstarter?
Well, I can tell you what Kickstarter is, and I'm gonna delight you by telling you the origins of Kickstarter as well, which
awesome.
Which Rach, your hubby's gonna love as well, given our mutual love of music of the band Marillion. So Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform where you can go, look, I've got a thing. I'll just grab this. It's a thing. It's a little board game, and I want to make it and sell it, and I don't have the money to do that. So what we want is for you to say, oh yeah, that looks cool. I'll have a copy of that. Here's the money. You go and make it and send it me when it's done. And it was first really used by the world's greatest rock band, Marillion, back when they got dumped from EMI Records, and they were like, shit, what are we going to do now? And then their keyboard player went, well, we've got quite a following. Why don't we just ask them for money up front, make the album, and then send it to them? Which is what they did, and they've been doing that ever since. So Marillion created Kickstarter. Well, created Kickstarter.
Wow, really?
Yeah. The
Cool,
whole
man.
concept of crowdfunding for a project that you like and that you want to spend money on was first done by them. They're nothing to do with the actual Kickstarter platform, but it's a cool little story. So
Yeah.
basically, it's just a way. It's a place that you can go to find people that want to do projects, but can't afford to do them. It's a
Yeah.
little bit. It's a little bit in the same way that Amazon was a bookshop, and now it's, like a warehouse of, it's a market. It's everything now. You can go onto Kickstarter, and some of the big games publishers, they just kickstart everything now, because rather than let's do a print run of 1,000 of this game, which we're probably going to sell, let's sell them in advance, get the money early. So it's
pre-order.
it's
It's pre-orders.
it's become a concept of pre-order rather than little indie publishers, indie people saying, I really want to make a thing. You still get lots of that, and you still get some really good things on Kickstarter: books, role-playing systems, albums, stuff, films, literally anything that you can think of as I'd like to do that, but I haven't got the money. Kickstarter has probably done that already. So it's a great little area. Where was I going? I don't know. I can't remember.
You just finished your first Kickstarter.
We finished.
Yeah.
Sorry about.
No, that's all right.
Sorry about
Yeah.
you to do that.
I'm great at waffling. I'm just never quite sure where I'm going.
Otherwise I'm going to get messages going, that's all very well, but
what is
it?
Kickstarter? Yeah. So
yeah.
we took that success, and we made 860 quid. We then took that money and said, right, we need to get some stuff printed. We need to pay for postage. We need to pay for envelopes and all that kind of stuff. We went off, got our books printed, bought some envelopes, shoved everything out, and delivered on our Kickstarter. And then we looked at the rest and said, right, we've made, I don't know, 120 quid each or something. It's not a lot, but it's still fun to have done all of that. Lather, rinse, repeat. We did that a couple more times. So Halcyon Days, we then did Gunplayer, which was like an anime and mecha inspired role-playing game. We did a Halloween thing, and then fast forward, we did a Dungeons and Dragons 5e resource book, which went mad as far as we were concerned, and we made $5,000 on. So you can escalate, and I think that's one of the things that I would probably very definitely say to people is it's a long game. So don't expect to do everything on your first one. It's a little bit like social proof, isn't it? And reviews and things like that. People look at two things when they're thinking of spending a bit of money. So let's say you want to sell a series of books for 30 quid on Kickstarter. Now, if I'm looking at spending 30 quid on a series of books at Kickstarter, there's two things I'm going to ask myself is, am I confident that that person can deliver those? Okay, so in order to be confident of that, I'm going to look at your previous Kickstarters. Have they delivered on time? Have they got hundreds of complaints in the comment section going, where the bloody hell is this? And I've been on the receiving end of that. I've bought things that, a year late or 2 years late because stuff has happened, and they've just not had the business mouse or clout or whatever to go, oh, hang on a second, how do I get myself out of this? I've lost money on a couple of Kickstarters that I've backed and have failed. But the first thing I'm going to do is look at, have you done this before? And that'll give me some confidence. And the other thing I'm going to look at is, are you a buyer or just a seller? Okay, and I don't know why, but that really does matter to lots of people on Kickstarter. What they like to see is that community thing. So
Yeah.
I've sold 5 things, but I've bought 35 things, for example.
It's like give and take, though, isn't
Exactly.
it?
Yeah. And I really do think that makes a difference. So just before you want to buy before you want to do a Kickstarter, set your account up and buy and back a few things. You know, don't just throw silly money around on stuff that you don't want, but buy the sort of thing that you want people to buy off you. Be part of that
Yeah.
community. You know, give so that you can then take. And
Yeah.
I think you can. There's one guy, I can't remember. Oh, his name escapes me, but he's really big in the RPG world, and he's got a badge of super backer. Okay, because he's
Right.
backed a certain number. I don't think Kickstarter give away the details. You know, it's like everything. They don't tell you what their algorithm is, but you get that super backer when you've backed so many in a month or so many in a week or so many in a year or whatever the algorithm is. But he is a super backer, and that's really helped him because people look at him and think he plays the game. He's part of the community,
Yeah.
and he's seen as part of the community. So you know that's really helped. So I think if you go into it and the first interaction you've got on there is to put up
Buy my book.
a series of books and ask people for 50 quid, you're not going to do anything because you don't have any of that sort of social proof. I think I listened to a few podcasts when we were first doing stuff. No, after we'd first done stuff, and it's really good advice that I sort of kind of wish I'd taken. Whereas people were saying, make some badges, make some stickers, you know, fairly cheap stuff, and sell them for a few pounds. Set up a little Kickstarter, 100 quid buy-in kind of thing. You know, that's all I want. Make 100 quid or 50 quid or whatever, and put some stuff out just to get a little bit of feedback. That was something that I think would have helped because you can see after our third one, you know, the numbers picked up quite considerably.
Yeah.
So when you did your first one that failed, could you contact those people who had initially backed? And I know it didn't fund, but you will have had people that were pledging.
Yeah.
Did you still have the contact details of those people that had pledged?
Yeah.
So that when you on the next one, you could say, "This is what we're doing this time," or you know.
Yeah. So what you've got in the background, you've got a fairly decent set of MI sort of information about your backing project. So you can send messages, and you can send messages to all the different sort of like levels and things like that. So you could send a message to people that have backed your PDF tranche, send messages to people that backed your print tranche, and just say, you know, this is coming on such and such a date, and this is coming on such and such a date. Or in our instance, we could send out a message to everybody and go, you know, we didn't make it. That's a real shame, but we're gonna be back, and we'll let you know when we do it. And here's what we've learned. And then, just looking at the dates, so we failed funding on the 11th of May, and then we fully funded on June the 22nd. So
it's a quick turnaround.
Very quick turnaround. Incredibly quick turnaround, actually. You know, 40 days. So I think what we did was went away, retold the story, and this is where I would say now AI would really work for you, is telling the story of what it is you're trying to sell. We made it, I don't think on that first tranche, we made it particularly clear as to pulling out the nuance of what this game was like. on the second time, we were much more obvious, like, this is what you're going to get, and this is what you're going to, and this is how you're going to play it, and here's a link to some videos of us playing it and things like that. Go and have a look. It was much clearer, much more straightforward. And the second time we made 860 quid.
I guess then when you're building your your page to tell people what the thing is about, it's about not trying to be like, well, I'm not going to tell you everything. It's like tell them what you want.
Yeah.
It is a form of advertising, isn't it? Be really simple
Yeah.
and clear. Otherwise, otherwise they'll be like, well, what's all this? Yeah,
Exactly. And it's, in some ways, it's probably better than like your Amazon page, because you can interact with it. You can answer comments. People can leave you comments. Backers can leave you comments. You can look at stuff. You can update it in real time. You can answer questions. You can give updates. So you can say after your, we funded, I think one of them, can't remember which one, I think it was Goblins, Trolls and Naughty Knolls, I think it was, that we honestly, we had such a laugh making that one. We funded really early on that one, so like within 2 hours, I think it was. So 2 hours, you launch, you send out your hooray, we've launched thing, and then within 2 hours you had 20 people, 30 people that got you over the funding hurdle, and you can send them a message and go, guys, this is brilliant, thanks so much. Right, can you get onto your socials? This is share this link. Go onto your back then it was Twitter before it shat the bed. Go onto Twitter, go onto TikTok, go and put this stuff up there, get people to buy it as well. And of course, you can see where people are coming from. You can see what links people are following. It's, in terms of platforms, it's got everything you want.
Yeah.
So before you launch that, I mean, because you can have a pre-launch page where and notify me when when the campaign's going to launch. Do you do anything there to try and build up the amount of people you have on that, so that when you do launch, you're off to a running start kind of thing?
Yeah. So we put so you effectively, the way Kickstarter do it, and it's quite clever, really. In order to get the pre-launch page, so coming soon, I think it is, like the coming whenever.
Yes.
You have to put a fairly detailed proposition in. So you can't just go, I'm going to sell a book and I'm going to do it in a year's time, because Kickstarter it's not about that. It's about an actual thing that you want to sell. So there is an expectation that you've done most of it, or you can at least evidence that you know where you're going. Because what they don't want to do is allow you onto the platform for you then just to never deliver something. Really, that's not what they're about. So
it's bad for their
yeah.
So.
I mean, you are always going to get stuff that doesn't deliver, or stuff that's monstrously late. I think I bought a board game called Gloomhaven. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that.
No.
They did a follow-up called Frosthaven. And that was probably 3 years late. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Oh
3 years late. And you've already ponied up for, I think, best part of 150 quid.
Wow.
It was, there was a lot of people, but when it rocks up, it's spectacular. But yeah, so you put up your coming soon page, but you've got to have a decently formed proposition that Kickstarter do review, but you can leave that up almost as long as you want. That you can set that up 6 months in advance, but you have to know what it is.
I mean, I've got one, as you know, and it's still up. I'm still waiting to get a bit of time to focus on it.
What you get with that is, once you've got 10 people who have clicked on the notify me when this becomes available, you'll then start seeing your little counter go up. Go like 10 followers, 20 followers, 30 followers, and all that kind of stuff. But you've got to get over that first hump of 10 people following.
And I guess that's where having a some sort of email list or following on social medias can help you.
Yeah.
You know, to send those people there to get you over that little bloop.
Yeah, exactly. And that becomes again like almost like a bit of a feedback loop. More people that follow you, the more will then come and go, oh, that looks good. So yeah, the other thing that I wanted to briefly touch on is don't get suckered into so Kickstarter will allow you to pick between 1 and 60 days, I think it is.
Yeah.
Of how long you want your Kickstarter to go for. So
your campaign.
Yes, yeah. So
yeah,
there are only 2 periods of time where anybody buys anything. That's in the first 3 days and in the last 1 day. All right. So the rest of it is just your marketing time. Nobody's gonna, it's very much a sort of a spike and then a complete lull, a spike, and
you
then
get the odd
that's it.
straggler in the middle, but
Yeah. So we did all of ours. I've just looked actually. Ours were 21 days. And I could probably make an argument for dropping that down to 2 weeks. The only reason that you want 21 days or a reasonable amount of time is really the sort of the socials, just to sort of saturate it and say, look, fully funded in 2 days or whatever, go out and buy it, go out and back it. But you don't get. We ran paid adverts for Goblins, Trolls, and Naughty Knolls. We did some great videos. So I mean, we were very lucky in that I was a bit of a writer. Ross was a fabulous artist and Stuart's a fabulous musician. So, in terms of, I could knock the book together and edit it and make it look nice. Ross did some absolutely crazy artwork and was quite good at turning those artworks into like little video type things. And then Stuart put the music on top of that. And, it was a lot of fun while we did it. So, yeah.
Do you think it's worth new authors doing one for their first book?
Would I say it's probably
a small one, obviously?
I don't see how it can hurt. I guess I don't see how it can hurt. Even if you end up then sourcing it yourself off. So let's say I did a print run. I knew that they're going to cost me $5 each off Amazon if I wanted to get them printed through Amazon. If I only sold 10, you could still do that. Set yourself a minimum purchase of 50 quid or something, like campaign funding, and just do it. And you've also got then somewhere else to link and to signpost people to, with your social proof. I'm part of a community. I already buy books. I already have done other things that people have seen.
I think also from the from the author's point of view, like you touched on it before, like your first, don't think your first one is going to be all everything. So it's a slow build. So say as a new author, you had one book, and you did a low £100 one or whatever. You're also collecting. If it funds, you've collected a few people that are interested in it. So then when you bring out, if you're using it as a pre-order concept, when you bring out your next one, they'll probably jump on that. Instead of getting it from Amazon and stuff, they're going to be sort of like your Kickstarter tribe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you launch it into the real world. And then as each book, the momentum will build.
Yeah.
I've seen it a few times with a few authors. So then they're on book 5 now. And that first one might have funded £500. But now that they're on book 5, it's, £10,000.
So I've still got all of those people that have ever bought anything from us. I can still go in and send all of them a message. So if I was to say, one of the things that I'm sort of thinking about doing is I've written a series of 4 books that are sort of a fantasy role-playing style of thing. They're a D&D adjacent story. Okay, so
It's lit RPG, isn't it? Your series.
exactly. So at some point, it would be not impossible for me to actually then make a campaign source book for D&D, whatever the latest edition is now. I would then stick it onto Kickstarter and go, here's the books. You can get the books and you can get a thing. And I'll just message all of the people that have ever backed us, because I've got, I don't know, 100, 200 people that might want to buy it, and that might go, oh, actually, I know you're good for it because you've done 4 of these things that we've already bought. So, yeah, it's in that respect, it's a better bet because you've got that information. It's not like Amazon where anybody can buy your book anywhere in the world, but you don't know who they are. This is,
but also, I mean, that's sort of like one lot of group of people that you can contact if you did one. But also, you've got your readers. So if you were to make it a little bit special edition-y and stuff of this, series of a little bit of foil or whatever you're going to do with it, then you've got your readers that you could go, these books that you liked, they're now in special edition or whatever, or celebrate if you were to write book 5, then this is a series. I'm now going to do bundles and all the rest of it. And so, why haven't you done one? Actually,
I don't know. That's a good point.
Big laugh now.
At some point, I probably will. I could put the original, because I've got all the original artwork from the books when I first brought them out that didn't sell, and then I redid the covers. But I could put those old ones back on as special editions. People might want them.
Or you could just have it as extras, as postcards.
Yeah, postcards, early artwork, or use that as the campaign edition. All those sorts of things that you can do. You can be a lot cleverer, because you don't have to sell an awful lot. Because it's still just getting your stuff out there. And I suppose the other thing to say is we have then put all of those. So when we successfully kickstarted this lot, we bought extra copies and stuck them onto Indiegogo and somewhere else. What was the other one?
What's Indiegogo, Mike?
So Indiegogo is a very similar, very similar website, but for buying independent writer stuff. So mostly, but not limited to, role-playing games, role-playing supplements, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Might be worth having a look whether there are sort of independent authors just selling their books on there. There might be. I don't know. But that's quite a popular website. There's another one which name escapes me.
Kit.
Sorry?
Backer Kit.
So Backer Kit sort of takes it. Backer Kit sort of links on to the back end of Kickstarter, and helps you with the managing of your backers. So you can use that to get your money because people will pay. So let's say I sell a book at 20 quid, and then I'll say later, postage and packing will be determined, based on your country. People put their credit card details in. When the book funds, I then get that 20 quid. But at a later date, I'm going to want another 10 quid or whatever it is, just making up numbers, to send you a book. But Rach, you live in Australia, so that's going to cost 15 quid. So that's where Backer Kit comes in. I'm desperately trying to remember the name. I can't remember it. I'll pop it when this comes out. I'll have remembered, and I'll pop something into the group chat. But yeah, there are other websites that are similarly placed for
the Kickstarter. I know Indiegogo one because I had a look at all of them before I did my first Kickstarter, and that one allows you to still get to be fund, even if you don't fund, to say you wanted £500 and you only made 420. you still get that 420 instead of failing your campaign. But I think the fees are a little bit higher if you choose that route kind of thing.
They absolutely all want their money, don't they? Like, I think Kickstarter take 5%, Stripe then take 5%. So
it's about 10%.
Yeah,
and it goes out,
and then BackerKit takes a further percentage. Everybody gets their money.
I'm pretty sure though, BackerKit, it's launched its own Kickstarter.
Yeah, I think it
thing.
has actually.
You can do it as well now. Because I think I saw Adam's got his Wingweaver on, and he did it. I think it was BackerKit. He's done it through, but I mean, I haven't looked into it so much, but it stands to reason they would really.
Exactly.
Instead of just being a back end thing. Yeah.
But all of those, I think, are a little bit like Amazon's up there with Kickstarter. And unless you want to,
you've got like Barnes and Noble for ebooks,
exactly.
And
Kickstarter is the big one. There have been, I think a while ago there was a big drama about it. I think it's because they said something about that they were going to start using AI backends or something like that, and it was a big drama in the RPG world, which is completely unlike the RPG world.
Seems this is back to new authors who possibly have never done this. Like, talk through the logistics of getting paid, fulfilling.
Okay, so let's say,
I know we know, but we might have people that listening that don't know those things.
No, so you've had a great campaign, and you've sold you've hit your numbers, and you've got 50, let's say 100 books selling at £10 each, and you've made yourself whatever that number comes to, £1,000, right? Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Okay, so you've made yourself £1,000. So on the day that your Kickstarter ends, Kickstarter will send you an email and go, woohoo, you've made £1,000. We'll take 50 quid off it because that's our 5%.
Please.
Stripe then go, right, well, you've got 950 quid left. So you want that money. So we'll give you that money. So we'll take another 5%, which then works out at 45 quid. So you then get a £905 into your bank account. And that's pretty quick, actually. I think that's 3 or 4 days after you've...
3 or 4 days, I'm sure it was about 15. But I mean, it's a long time since I did mine.
I thought I don't know. I thought it was I was surprised at how quick it was. It might have been 15.
Yeah.
But it was a relatively short period of time considering. Okay, so at that point, we then took that money, popped it into sort of like a segregated place, and then finished off all our proofs, sent them off, got them printed, and we used, like a third-party independent printer. And again, I'm quite happy to pop a link to the people that we used. I'm not affiliated then anyway, so I don't care where you get printed. But these guys were good. The quality of what they did was decent. And then the books turned up, and I had a little bit of opened a couple of beers, popped them all into envelopes, got the kids to help, and then I posted everything via Royal Mail. Oh, sorry, rewind slightly. Once I knew how heavy the books were, I then set myself up a little spreadsheet that said, how heavy is the books, how heavy is the postage pack, and all that kind of stuff, and therefore what was the grammage of each book and where it was going to go. And then I sent out those BackerKit requests for like postage and packing. Make sure you cover your packing, make sure you cover your postage, all those sorts of things. But equally, people are quite vocal. It's not eBay. You're not going to avoid fees by by making your postage really high. People will call you out. if you if you put your postage as 15 quid as a sort of an extra little bit of revenue, people are going to call you out, and you'll get crappy feedback.
Equally, though, I remember seeing this just on YouTube. This author who was doing a Kickstarter and just telling the story and how it was going, all the rest of it, and you follow along, and then she did a sum up video. So skip to the end to this sum up, and she did really well. She made 18 grand, and it was all special edition ones and all the rest of it. But she just did not do the maths at all. She just all the special editions were lovely and all the rest of it. But I mean, the profit she came out with was about $1,500 off 18 grand, and it's like you've just messed that up big time.
Yeah.
If you just done your due diligence and everything else that comes with it, you could have had at least half of that 18 grand as profit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the key thing to know and understand. What is the price I'm going to pay for the book? And I know it goes up or it comes down as you sell more, sort of thing. So you're going to have to go with some projections. Well, I think I'm going to sell 100. What's 100 of these books? And the price breaks are quite good, actually. As you sell more, it does come back down in price. But know that and know what you're selling it for. We only ever had one person come back and say, "Oh, this isn't great value." And it was.
It's not supposed to be, though, is it?
I sent him, not as a comment, but I sent him an email back, breaking it down, because his view was, I've paid, I can't remember, 20 quid for a 40 or 50 page D&D supplement, which was softback. It was good quality, but it was softback, right? And I don't consider 20 quid for that to be massively expensive. But he was like, this could have been hardback for that. And it's like, hang on a sec. The actual print costs of that was 4 quid. It's practically nothing by the time you do that. But I myself put probably 80 hours of effort into this.
Yeah.
Ross, in terms of the art, probably put 30 hours. And Stuart, in terms of the music on that last one, he probably put 30 hours of stuff. If you add all that together and divide it by the profit that we took, it was nothing. It was a tiny time. We were probably working at like a couple of quid an hour kind of thing. And people just forget that this isn't me just doing a hobby. This is me selling my time. I'm selling a book and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, of course. But I'm selling my time. And at 2 quid an hour, that's not a great return on investment. It's lucky I enjoy it. I am a nerd. I love tiddling around with spreadsheets and working out all that kind of shit. And I'm quite happy to sit watching telly and lining stuff up on Microsoft Publisher to get all the layouts right and everything like that. But it is time, and you're swapping that for this person's 20 quid. And I sent him quite a snotty message and then blocked him from ever buying anything off us again. It's like,
or even worse, commenting on them.
I'm just like, he's now dead to me.
I mean, one of the things though is getting the pricing right for shipping and that, because you just have to just look into it once you've got the weights of your books. That's sort of what we're aiming for. Getting it as close to as possible, just so then because the shipping's sort of like a blanket shipping depending on region, isn't it? Set up on Kickstarter.
So you can do it one of two ways. You can either do it on Kickstarter, or you can take that outside and do it on BackerKit. I did it on BackerKit for one of them. I can't remember which one. And then I went back to just doing it on Kickstarter. at the time. Oh, I think it's because I knew how heavy the book was going to be by then, because I've done it this many times. I know it's going to come out like this. I just weighed one of my other sort of like little supplement books and said, well, it's going to be about that with a envelope. And we did some miniatures. We did little minis as well. So you're going to need a little bit of a tube and blah blah blah. I worked all of that out and just said that's how much it's going to be, depending on that. So I got it all done in advance. So yeah, but it's definitely worth. Make sure you know exactly what things are going to weigh, because if you go, oh, that's making up numbers, that's about 500 grams, and actually it's 501 gram, that takes you into the next price point. It's like you're losing money on every single thing you're shipping. So you don't want to be doing that.
No. So you need a decent margin so that you are actually in profit.
But yeah, a decent.
There'd be nothing worse.
Exactly, and it's it's definitely worth. It's worth being aware of that, and I think that it becomes more transparent in a Kickstarter, because people see or people know what they're paying, and it's much less transparent than say on Amazon, because let's say you ship something on Kickstarter. Well, I know that if I'm paying you £10 for your postage and I'm paying Rach £3 for postage, that Rach probably isn't paying enough to cover it, but you're taking the piss, for example. Whereas on Amazon, it's sort of I can't judge anybody for how much things cost to ship on Amazon, because that's out of the author's hands.
Yeah, it's their distribution, isn't it? Yeah. Well, that's been fantastic. When are you going to do a Kickstarter for your, and talk about your books before we go, because you are an author.
Yes, yeah. So I'm still. I've written 4 books, and they are the Calambrian Adventure series. They start with the Warlock at Ridge Valley, and they are a slightly genre-bending coming-of-age fantasy novel where you live 2 lives. You hear the coming-of-age story of Colin, who is one of a group of 4 role-play game D&D players at his school. He's lost his father. He's had to move to a new school, and he's struggling with life in general. He's dealing with that by playing Dungeons and Dragons with his friends, and you get that story of Colin, but you also get the fantasy role-playing story, so you get to hear their story as well. So it's a little bit sort of dungeon crawler, or is it dungeon crawler, Carl? That sort of lit RPG kind of story, but it's also a little bit like those of you that are old enough to remember a really nerdy film called The Gamers. It's a little bit like that, where you see the people playing the game and hear both sides of the story. I like to think of it as a real play fantasy role playing podcast, where you hear the story, but you get to go home with the people that are doing the podcast.
It's like Ready Player One.
It's a little bit like Ready Player One, but imagine, for anybody else listening, imagine the joy that goes on in this podcast. But if you could then go and listen to Rob and Rachel at home doing the dishes, I mean, how brilliant would that be? It's kind of like that.
I'm not sure.
Can you see why I have so much problems marketing them? Go home, listen to Colin do the dishes. It's much more exciting than that, honestly. Give it a go. Warlock at Ridge Valley, available on Amazon.
And you've got 4 books out, and you're starting a new series, did you say?
Yes.
Before.
So I've got 4 books out, and I'm currently doing, and I'm about 18,000 words into a time travel spy thriller set in and around the local area where I live, which is Gloucester, Cheltenham. We have GCHQ. I have to whisper it in case they're listening. We have GCHQ. Our whole area sort of oozes spy mythos and things like that. So I'm doing a story about Daniel Calder, a codebreaker working at Q, who mysteriously gets sent back to 1976.
70s.
Back to the 70s.
That was a good year, that.
It was a great year.
1976.
It was a great year. But it's not
The hottest summer in recorded history, I believe.
hottest summer.
Huh?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember it well. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's not
It was the
going.
year great podcasters were born.
Yeah, I remember I was 7. But it's not.
No, I was born in 76.
Yeah, no, I was 7 back then. So it's not in the style of Jason Ayres, Adrian Cousins, or Adrian Cousins, yeah, or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's not the.
More thriller-esque, I
It's
guess.
more it's more thriller,
Yeah.
spy thriller, but with time travel. And there'll be a little bit of pop culture in there, of course.
Well, you've got me interested now. What time travel are you using? What rules?
What rules?
Are you not divulging
I'm not
yet?
divulging. It's all. I'm fairly confident it all hangs together, but yeah, I need to sort of test it. But it's time,
Yeah.
sort of time fracture.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's very exciting.
And this is a new planned series, is it?
This will be the first book which will create the time agency at
Right.
GCHQ. You know, if they can get it right, they can then create their time agency. Which, if they can do that before the Russians do, you know, then GCHQ can control it. And if that happens, then we could have lots more books set in
Yeah.
around various different years.
Oh, that's cool. It sounds a little bit like Eva St. John. I don't know if you've read
Or
her.
if not,
She does but she has in it agents that go back at certain times and change things for whatever reason. You know, there's like a timeline, so they'll go back and get Merlin's sword because it was discovered when it shouldn't have been, and you know,
oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I've just
yeah, what
quantum curators and the
that's the one.
and the
Yeah,
missing. All right, okay, that sounds quite exciting. I shall go and have a.
Yeah, have a look,
I
yeah.
should go and grab one of hers. It sort of reminds me a little bit like Looper, if you've seen the films.
Yeah.
But it's more thriller-esque, but I still want that popular culture thing because
yeah,
you
of
know
course.
I don't know what it is about getting old. We look back at the 70s and the 80s, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, the 70s became popular in time travel-esque thing from Life on Mars for the UK, really. And, you know, there's kind of like that nostalgia, isn't there, connected to the 70s?
Yeah, very much so.
I wouldn't know, but yeah, apparently. I'm an 80s baby, so.
Were you? Crikey. You
Yeah.
must have had a hard
What do
paper
you mean,
round.
really?
Well, you must have had a hard paper round.
Really, that surprises me. You look fucking old, Rob.
That was where I was going, yeah.
Mike, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on again. You weren't wrong about
I
waffling.
do like a waffle.
This is our
we've
longest podcast episode
Sorry.
ever.
We've done well. Tony's going to go mad when he sees the and he has to upload it to YouTube.
Yeah, but part of it was
but,
about Marillion, and Tony likes reel to reel, so you know we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. Thank you very much for. And you're coming to London.
I'm coming to
I
London.
believe.
I'm booked in.
No.
Where am I
June.
staying? I'm staying in a pub in Lambeth, I think, which would be cool.
Don't need anything else, do you?
Exactly.
Downstairs for breakfast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It'll be great.
It'll be good.
And
I'm
it'll be
looking forward.
great to catch up with
Very
you.
much looking forward to it. So I will see you both there.
All
Yeah.
right.
Cool.
See you then.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Bye.
And that was Mike Hibbert once again. It's great to have another waffle with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope people found that interesting. Kickstarter, and they're not befuzzled by it all. There's quite a lot of information then, wasn't there? And yeah, anything else to add before we end our longest ever podcast? No, you just want to go now, don't you?
I'm starving.
Okay. And see you next time, H.
All right. See you later.
Cheerio.
Bye.